So I just defeated this guy. Just a pain in the ass. What is it, Mesmer? Yeah, that guy's a pain in the ass. A swift kick, some might say. I would say. Um, Instead, I came to talk here about the concept of inner work. Uh, I mean, it can feel like work, but really it's not work. The real work is outside. But inside, the inner work, or what has been called as inner work, is really just, to put it simply, it's processing. Basically, going through the process of emotions and experiences, just like, not conceptually, but actually just sitting there with the feelings. That's really the work. The work is to sit with your feelings. But there's not really anything you can do about it. And in fact, anything that you do will either perpetuate, which is another way of saying draw it out, or to make it a mountain when it's really just a molehill, if even that, you know? And it's not to minimize anybody's experience at all. In fact, all you have is your experience. Not experience in the past tense, but I mean what you've actually experienced, your lived experience. Because people can have all the knowledge in the world, but the actual lived experience is entirely different. But in terms of inner work, the work that may seem like, what may seem like work is just the stuff that you're tightly, you don't know how to let go of it, basically. And so it feels like you're trudging through mud, like thick mud, like waist deep mud, like it feels like work to get through it. But there's no getting through it. It's just, you just have to find a way to, because like the thing is, if you could in a moment become absolutely willing to have this entire whatever it is, the entire tidal wave, no matter what comes with it, of emotions, of physical pain, of all that stuff, you just stop resisting and you just let it happen, basically. It takes just like a moment. And when I say a moment, I mean a moment. And when I say a moment, I mean this moment. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. But also at the same time, it takes everything in you. And setting that aside. Not as though it doesn't matter, because that's what you're setting it aside. And instead of taking it one bite at a time, because you can't, you just let it wash over you completely. Let it do its thing, basically. And that moment will change your life. And you'll see what the work actually is. It's actually outside. It's actually outside. It's not inside. It can feel like work when it's inside, but that's just, like I said, and it's not really anybody's fault. In fact, the fact that you're even doing the work, much less making any progress, is commendable. Certainly. Because the vast majority of people don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But the inner work isn't the start. There's no inner work. That's an illusion. Once you see through that completely, not as a concept or as an understanding, but actually in your experience, when it becomes your experience, that there wasn't really anything to go through. There wasn't anything to, there was stuff to process, but it didn't have to take much time, if any. If any, and that's what you see. That's what you see. And there's no there to get. There's no there to get. That's the illusion. Time, fear, physical body, space. These are the basis of the illusions. It's the basis. Everything comes from that. But this kind of psychological, mental, emotional, psychological illusion is something that it's an extrapolation. So if you've gotten to that point, you're essentially removed from reality, unable to actually experience what real life is. You only experience your mental and emotional concept of it. And you won't even really experience that. A lot of people just avoid that, and that's why it feels like work. It comes from having for a long time denied reality because you've felt it to be unbearable. And then when faced with it, it feels like work because he feels like you have to accept everything and you have to do this and you have to do that. There's nothing to do. It's all very simple. It's not even painful, actually. It's so simple. It's actually so simple. No matter what it is. Literally, no matter what it is. And the thing is, a lot of people will get up in a tizzy like that. And I can tell you why. They're getting triggered. What's getting triggered? The stuff that they feel that they would maybe at some point need to work through, and a lot of people, some people self-righteously and wrongfully or rightfully, I'm not saying, but self-righteously, wrongfully or rightfully, I'm not saying anything, but they will superimpose, and they'll say that that's the work, to superimpose their inner on the outer. And it just never works. Because the only thing that will ever work in that way is the thing that everyone already accepts on the inner. But the thing is, nobody can agree on that. Even though fundamentally there's things that are not adhered to at all. And those are the real cardinal rules, the real rules to be governed by. But humans in a state of savagery are incapable of this, actually. Even in the most advanced societies, completely incapable. Totally incompetent. It's entirely above their pay grade, above their understanding, above their capabilities. Not actually, just at this present state of affairs at this moment. In terms of what things are, yeah, it's just not possible. And there's no way to tell how much time it could take, because people just do bullshit for fucking millennia, dude. It's crazy. Like, if you actually know about real human history, people be doing shit for tens of thousands of years, like straight up fuck shit. Like this same shit that's happening now, we know, because it's been recorded, has been happening for like, 20, 30,000 years? It's actually insane. And it's actually the reason why we don't see extraterrestrials, because they're here. But it's the reason why we don't make any open contact with them. It's literally because of that kind of shit that's keeping us there. And that's, but, I mean, that kind of took a little bit of a left turn, but, I mean, that's why. That's the large scale result of it. On an interpersonal level, people become unable to not deal with the stuff that they narrowly want or have, which maybe people have seen. And this can show up in many ways, many ways. And this goes all the way to the person who needs to make everything outside of himself the way that he wants. Usually people in power. But beyond anything like that, which is essentially just beyond all ego, it's to just understand that this place here, this planet, is perfect already, and that we're fucking it up royally, actually. Like, very, very badly. Like, we could easily be traveling into, like, interstellarly, I think. In the next, I really couldn't tell you. I don't know how fast we could do it. I know we could do it really fast if we really put our minds to it. We could do anything we wanted. In fact, world hunger on all the world wars could stop instantly overnight if we wanted to. Right now they could stop. It could just be over if we wanted it to. Disease, crime, and all that stuff if we really wanted to. But the thing is, people are too self-interested, and they're self-interested in the stuff that they're self-interested in, which creates the exact state of affairs that we have. And it's actually absurd in a lot of ways. It's actually completely ridiculous. But humans are so unaware that they completely lack any insight enough to see any level of that without getting offended. Or without thinking that it's like some kind of a joke. Yeah, it might be funny on some level, but like, it's not like a joke. Like, it's actually real, yeah. But it may actually be funny because that's what I'm saying. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, I'm rambling. Bye.